Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Andres Diaz, and Will and I are back again to do a podcast. Of course, we're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 and a spoiler talk of Eternals. Of course, how's everything, Will?
Good, yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And, excuse me of my memory of Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's been, I'm actually halfway through the show. Um,
Oh wow. All right.
yeah, I'm in Season 5. Um,
Okay.
yeah, me and my mom just got finished with the first pod with everyone, you know, time travel and all that in the future.
hmm
Right now we're back in the past, and they're dealing with all this other stuff that happened to them in season 4, towards the end of season 4, with General Tablet being shot, and now they're framed again. They're on the run again. All that. So
hmm
I'm at that point of the series. So, uh, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I will say I really enjoy season 2. I thought it was better than the first season.
hmm
Um, I mean, I guess I'll get out of this. I actually like season 3. I think that's my favorite season of Agents of Shield. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, I think it's because not to get too ahead of season 3, but I think I like season 3 more is because it was so sci-fi, and then like
hmm
that hooked me into the
Yeah.
show even more.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm talking about, especially with season 3, the
hmm
episodes. But I fairly enjoyed season 2. I think it was a step up from first season. I guess um I guess the first episode was strong, but then it started a little rocky when they, because was it Lucy Lawless was in the first episode, and they
hmm
kill her off. And
Right.
I was like,
Immediately. Yeah.
yeah. So let's kind of get that over. What are your butter about that, Will? Or
Yeah. I was surprised. And it definitely upped the stakes.
oh,
Um,
that's true. Uh, yeah, I
yeah.
um yeah. Well, I guess if we have to do it, at least they gave us lens. It was. I feel like that was a good character driven moment for that character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, because we do bring that back when was it? I think in season 3. I think if I remember correctly, um,
hmm
when Sorry Man comes back, and I feel like that was a good um callback for it. So, but yeah, I thought the first episode was a good start. I guess, I guess I was very happy we got more Hydra stuff. That's the big thing about it. This first half of the
Yeah.
first for season 2 is the Hydra, and I will say I like the antagonist of the show, Whitehole. That's his name. Um, the
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was a very
Dr. List.
yeah, oh, Dr.
Right.
List as well. Um,
Yeah.
or is Dr. List?
Uh,
Or
um.
no, no.
Maybe that's later.
That's later actually. I know. Yeah, List
Okay.
comes into season 2. It's just that's later on. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
that's when
But yeah.
yeah. I really enjoy his character. And I like how um he ties into the inhuman stuff, and
Yes.
Uh, I guess the one thing I liked about this season was more character development for Sky, because that was something
Yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so, what do you think about her character arc overall in season 2? Because I think I really liked it, and I really loved her parents and the actors they pick. I think all that was really wonderful. What do you think about Sky in this season? I think
Yeah. I remember in the first season, like when I was first watching it, Sky was my least favorite character because I didn't find her that interesting.
right, right.
Um, and like her plot with like the rising tide just kind of fell flat for me. But this season was incredible. Like, um, yeah, just everything with her parents, with like her discovering her powers and like her inhuman background. Just very cool.
Yeah.
Very well done. And definitely like fleshed her out more and made her role as like the focal point of the series feel more justified this
Yes.
season and moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I will agree on. I agree on that statement. Yes, I really like Sky in this season. I think she had more emotional, like, uh, like arc to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Than the first season. But I mean, the thing that I like about it is that they built upon the setup they did in the first season. So I was very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I mentioned this in the season one talk that it was cool to see that they were setting up Sky and it's her parents and all of that. And, and then we get the payoff of this season, especially we know what was her parents like, like how she survived from the did she 38 formula or something like that. Um, like she was a Cree, like she had
Uh,
Cree D. What's the full name? I forgot.
uh, I have Wikipedia pulled up. It's GH325.
Yes. And so we discovered that, because it was connected to her Cree DNA she had in her body. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
yeah, and then another thing I like about her arc was with Coulson. I like her relationship with Coulson. I like how we're building up to the father and daughter relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and for those both characters. And like Coulson gets kind of like caught in the middle of like he's trying to be a good mentor and like father figure to her, but then at the same
Mm-hmm.
time he gets in trouble with you know this guy's real parents and like and you know it's like I feel bad for Coulson, especially when we get into like season 3 and 4. Like he gets
Yeah.
even like crazy. So excuse me. So I think that was another thing I liked about season 2. Let's I mentioned Coulson. Do you like the was it the payoff of his return, like him coming from back from the dead, like um what was it trying to figure out what's the writing on the wall episode
Mm-hmm.
when we get the full conclusion of the Tahiti project, because that
Mm-hmm.
was something I was a little disappointed about.
Oh, you
I
were?
Yeah, I don't know, like I think it was just the episode. It was like they were dealing with so much going on, and
Mm.
I just feel like the drug thing, like, just was kind of like an afterthought. I felt like I I don't know, like, what's your opinion on the full conclusion of the GH 325 arc?
Yeah. I don't know. I
Because
really liked the way that they dealt with Coulson's resurrection.
okay,
I liked that it it felt earned because I
mm,
know a lot of people were worried when the show started that they were gonna justify Coulson's resurrection with like comic book
oh, that's true.
like just like oh he lived like there wasn't gonna be any weight behind it.
Yeah,
And I feel like the show really spent a lot of like narrative time like explaining how and why Colton survived in a way that felt like true to the universe without it like making death seem less permanent.
yes,
Or that they brought him back was horrific and difficult. Um, and it wasn't just like someone snapped their fingers and Coulson came back. That wasn't supposed to be a reference to Thanos, but it was. Um,
yeah, yes.
like his resurrection felt like there's a lot of like force behind it and didn't feel cheap. And I liked that. And then just the scene of like him in the actual machine while they're like rewiring his brain was horrifying.
Yes, we saw that a couple of
Um,
times from
yeah,
season one, and then this season.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I agree. You. I guess maybe I'm not being like particular. Like I didn't care for them to bring that there was like other subjects that took the drug. I
hmm
I felt. Well, yeah, I guess the thing was like I was kind of shocked how um his because the big thing about the first half was Coulson was drawing these like Democrats, these Creek like
right,
symbols, and honestly we discovered it was like a map to a city, obviously.
yeah,
And then but then at the same time we discovered there was other what do you call it, volunteers before Coulson got the drug when he
hmm
got killed from Loki and the Avengers. I was kind of like, whoa, really? There was other people that took the drug. And then because the episode that the clues that was the writing on the wall, and we got this like episode where there's a killer, he was killing the previous volunteers of the drug,
hmm
GH, and that part I did not like. I felt like we didn't really need that, honestly. But um,
yeah. Okay, I get that.
yeah, the stuff you mentioned about closing, I like. And you're right. Like they at least took the time. That Coulson, is back, but there's what's the word, ramification of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Hydra wants Coulson in his blood, and then I think we get back to it in season 4, right? Or something like that.
uh
Right,
trying to remember. I mean, it does come up like
a couple of times.
yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that there's consequences.
yeah. And, well, I'm curious about this because I know he made a deal with the ghostwriter. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll see at the end of the season that you're watching.
Okay, okay. So I was kind of curious. Like, is it with the GH or something else? Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll leave that. I will say this season or is this no 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 I was thinking about May,
hmm
and I just realized May has better character development in season 3. And season 2, I like May still in this season, but I we were introducing Andrew, right, in season 2. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say I really like Andrew
hmm
in the show. I really like his chemistry with HMA, and I really think he was a good character, and I like him in season 3 especially. So uh, but still, I feel like May should have more character development in this season. But well, we actually, I'm this season we got the cavalry story, right? We discovered how she
Right.
had to kill that inhuman child, and to rescue the agents of Shield, and the hostages that inhuman child did. Um,
hmm
did you like that reveal, Will?
Um.
Because that part I was a little kind of like, okay, this is convenient. Um,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah,
Um. Yeah, it does seem like if half the team is connected to the Inhuman storyline, it does feel a little. Um.
like
Yeah.
I like um the reveal, like she was forced into killing a
hmm
child, and like
Yeah, that had a lot of dramatic weight behind it.
yeah, like that part I like
But
the
I
most. Yeah,
Yeah, but I agree with you that it does feel convenient that traumatic backstory fits into the plot that they're telling.
yeah, and that was just weird. Um, but yeah, I I don't know. Like I felt like that was going too far to making Sky being kind of very, very important and like or trying to make the humans important in the universe. And so I felt
Mm.
like that was going too far. Um, but it was good. Um, then after May, we got Fitz and Simmons. Now those two characters are my favorite characters, and we can like
Yeah,
discuss them.
easily.
Yeah, they're easily the best characters. I love them from every season. And actually, just kind of a
Hmm.
brief hint. Season 3, that's where I say I actually like the show is because what they do with those two characters. And
Hmm.
obviously, my favorite episode is the one with Simmons. And so I'm not gonna tell you what episode's that. I think you know what I'm talking about when I mentioned Simmons and
Yeah.
season 3. So um
Yes.
yeah, oh my god, great episode season. One of
That's
the
a good
best.
one. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. I was so happy I saw it finally because I knew because I saw one show from YouTube that when they got to the episode, it was like a big deal. It was like one of the best episodes, and I was like,
Hmm.
so I was very excited to get to that season and see that episode, and yeah, did not disappoint. Um,
Good. Yeah.
yep, yep. But with season 2, I really like the character development for Fitz and Simmons. I think Fitz is meant, that actor is amazing. I think he
Yeah.
had,
I
oh my god,
yeah. I want him to be in everything. Like he needs to be in more stuff.
yeah, I know. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like how they handle his brain or his like his brain damage or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. He had like brain trauma.
Brain trauma, and I really like how they handled that very well. Um, and then I was kind of scared they got rid of Simmons until we was it, we got to the episode making friends and influence people where Simmons is actually working undercover as Hydra, and I was like, okay, Simmons didn't leave, but she was still like she kind of left, Fitz, to be proactive and help Shield, take down Hydra, and very interesting. Like I don't know why Simmons did that. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I blame Simmons for Fitz dramatic. She should just stay there with him, like help him recover and stuff like that. But anyway,
Well, no, she had to do her undercover thing.
I don't know. Like I get you're trying to help the organization, but still, like your friend like needs you. Like especially when Fitz, like I thought Simmons was there, but then what was it? We got revealed that he's actually talking to himself, and that's where I was like, oh
Yep.
yeah, we're going down to that path. Um, I like we took our time with that. I appreciate we didn't get rid of the him talking to the fake Simmons, or hallucination we call it. Um, I really like all that stuff, and I appreciate they never rush to their like relationship. I like they need to take time to like trust each other again. That was the part I really liked about both of those characters in the season, and I still like Simmons. I think I like how Simmons grow into an agent. I like how she still, well, especially in season 3, I like how she gets used to violence. That's the thing
Hmm.
that is interesting, or fascinating, I'll say,
Yeah.
at least. Well, then, who else we need to talk? We mentioned everyone for the OG.
We haven't talked about Ward.
Okay, let's get toward. Okay, I've seen the first 3 seasons. I will be kind of honest with you. I don't like Ward. I don't know why we still have him. Like
Yeah. I think they wanted to keep the actor around.
it's true. I that's the thing. I like the actor.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go. You go.
Okay. Very quickly. I like the actor. I think he is a good actor. I think he should have his own show and like, or be part of the like an ensemble cast, right?
Hmm.
I some reason the character Grant Ward I just don't like. I, I don't know, like they feel like I don't know if you will agree with this statement. I feel like they don't. I think Ward was done for first season, and I feel like just having him there, kind of like, ugh, like I don't know, like because at first I thought they were gonna make Ward like like a sympathetic character, right?
Hmm.
With the the background about him being forced to kill, he drowned his one brother in the well, right? That we
Hmm.
got from first season, and then this season we got introduced to his brother, right? The senator, Kristen or
Christian.
Chris,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I thought we were leaning to that direction, but no, he's this a psychotic killer who's very, you know, it's very benevolent with people, especially this guy.
Hmm.
And I felt like why we need to do that. And then, yeah, in this season, he falls in love with Agent 33, right?
Right.
Uh, and, and I was like, oh wow, so he falls in love, and then obviously when May trick Ward to kill, Agent 33, and he's like, oh, like puppy love, like sad, and he's like, I want to revenge. I'm like, really? It's like, it's just like, especially when you get to season 3, I'm like, I don't care. I just go away, Ward.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I like him as like a foil to the team, but I definitely
Yeah,
agree that like by season 3 he was starting to overstay his.
he's welcome. Yeah. Um. Well, when we get to season 3, I like the Hive stuff. I think that's his best performance. I
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this season. I think I was kind of surprised. I thought he was going to work more close to the Hydra plot, right?
Hmm.
But he didn't, and that was the thing I was shocked about. I I don't know, but I still like the actor, but still I don't know. Like some of the stuff I didn't care with Ward. I think just personally for me. Well, and speaking of Agent 33 and Ward, we thought about the new characters. We've got new characters in this season, and I will say, especially with me and my mom, we really like Lance and Bobby in
Yes.
this season. I want to get into that. Mac is introduced this season. I like Mac.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I, I mean, my mom doesn't like Mac until we get into like Yo-Yo and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially because I, I I'll get to the other thing I didn't like about this season was the real Shield thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We've
Yeah.
talked about that before.
Yeah. I mean, I I like they got Edward James almost. He's a great
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
I love
100%.
him. Yeah. I felt like why we need another conflict.
Hmm.
Why are we dealing with this other conflict that I care most about? I don't understand that, but and they do a better job with that than other shows I see. So I will not gonna be harsh on them. I think, um, but I would say I like um I guess the character I like the most coming out from the season was Lance. I think Lance is the one that I like. I slowly, gradually like him
Hmm.
because at first I was like, oh, he's this British, hot rod. I was like, oh, I care for the money, and I'm like, that typical, mercenary guy,
Hmm.
man. And then, a couple episodes, I started to like him. I think the episode I started to like him was, I think, yes, in episode 4, season 2, Face Miami,
Mhm.
where like the team were in the plane, and they're just they're having the conversation, and obviously I think Lance was talking about his ex-girlfriend or his ex-wife, I think. And
Ex-wife, yeah.
yeah, obviously we don't know at that time that was Bobby he's talking about, right?
Mhm.
um
Right.
and um I really like that. That's the episode also like Mac as well, because he's like, oh, I my ex-girlfriends were amazing because I never had that issue. Whatever he say was just, oh my god, so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I think that was the episode I started to like Lance, and then Mac, I think um I guess I started to like Mac in season 3, not in this season, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely gets more development in later seasons, so that's fair.
Yeah.
In season 2, I like his relationship with Fitz, but that's about it.
Yes, I agree on that. His chemistry with the actor Fitz is amazing. I think he was very important to get Fitz out of this um like what was the word, like traumatic situation he was in, and like try to be proactive and stuff. I appreciate that. Um, I think it's the thing with the real Shield that I did not like with
Yeah.
him. It's like, really, it's just uh, just like I don't know, being us down to too many more fraction like organization and conflict. I'm like, don't
Yeah.
need that. Um, and then we get to Bobby, who I really like, and I think she's a really interesting character. I like when we get to 5 with a hen in the wolf house, where
Hmm.
you know we discover her, and she's an undercover Shield agent, and it was funny. I love that episode towards the end where was it, I think Tipple, right? Or I am saying Tipple, or Anton.
Um,
Uh,
oh, Triplet.
Triplet, thank you.
Yeah.
Triplet is like, who is she? And then I think Maine is like, the ex-wife that Lance mentions, and it's like, yeah, and oh my god, that was my favorite reaction from that character. Oh, and speaking of that character, I let's have a silent moment for for that character. I was so
Yeah.
sad.
Me too. Yeah.
Oh my god, when I was hoping that it wasn't true. He didn't die in the season, and
Mm.
we got to uh the was it the episode was it
It's the mid-season finale.
yeah, the
So,
mid-season finale,
um,
after not aftershock, what they become.
yeah.
Like, oh my
So
gosh, yeah, episode 10, right? I was like, oh my god, he's not gonna die. I love him. I mean, he's everyone's favorite character, and
yeah.
nope, he died with the was it the Treasury Miss Crystal,
Yeah.
and the shrapnel, and like, oh, he turns into the stone. I'm like, oh no, he's dead. God. Oh, I was so sad. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, oh my god, this show. Um, I like they talk about him. I was very happy about that. Um, but yeah, he was my favorite like character from season 1, and I was so happy for him with the team. Like, I love um his interaction with Sky. I that was the part I liked the most with Sky in this season. Was that
Hmm.
character. I appreciate that Sky felt bad because, like, like if she didn't go to the chamber that will turn into the humans, maybe he couldn't be alive at that moment. But hey, um, but yeah, great character. At least his death was handled well compared to other deaths I've seen in shows, honestly. So
Hmm.
at
Yeah.
least they acknowledge his death and how important he was in the team
Yeah.
Shield. So and that's where like Matt comes in and he becomes more like him or in the show, like he becomes that stay-in. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
they serve similar roles on the team, like the team dynamic.
yeah, um, yeah. I don't know. For some reason I like his background. Like he had a connection with one of the Howling Commandos, or like one of the
Yeah, he was the grandson of one of the Howling Commandos.
yeah. And I wanted more about that in the
Hmm.
show. Like that was the thing that I was like that was the part I like about it. It was like, oh, okay, this is cool, and I
Hmm.
wanted to see that more in the this season, or well, whenever he stay in the show to get to that. Um, I guess so we got to that part, and I guess we need to discuss like the villains. So I I'm kind of curious. Do you like the villains for this season? Like, were they better than the first season? I'm kind of curious about your opinion about that.
Uh, yes,
Okay.
yes. They were better than the first season. I liked Whitehall a lot.
Yes. I agree.
Um, the Inhumans were just cool. Man, I love the Inhumans. They did them
Yes.
so well. Like, ah, man, I will forever be disappointed by the Inhumans miniseries because there was so much potential, especially with what they set up in this show.
Yeah. I
Um, yeah,
why why they didn't I don't know why they didn't get Agent of Shield to bring back to do that show, because I don't know why they brought a new whole team that didn't know those characters. I
yeah, and they brought in the guy from Iron Fist.
Yes, I know.
Like, oh man, like Inhumans was painful to watch. Ah, oh man, I don't want to talk about it.
I know.
Still
It,
hurts.
it's awful. I will say I think my favorite character in the Humans was Gordon. I don't know why. I just love his like no eyes, and his his teleporter. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I think they did a good job of designing the Inhumans design.
Yeah, no, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. nailed it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, especially with like a like a minimal budget, like they actually pull it off really nicely
yeah,
compared to that show. Like I just wish they carry over the ideas they had for it. I like the was it the afterlife city.
yeah, yeah.
That was a cool concept. I like that. Um, they did a really good job of getting the Kree DNA, the chamber, the Terrigen Mist. I
Hmm.
was so happy they kept that, and the crystals. I like everything what they built to the mythos of the Inhumans. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. Oh man, I think the Inhumans like mythology is so cool. And
Yes,
I like I'm so upset that it can't make it into the MCU like proper now.
I know.
Cause oh man,
I
like
know.
the Terrigen crystals, Terrigenesis, so cool. Though like I don't know if you're familiar with like Inhuman storylines from the comics, but there's this one about like the Terrigen bomb that was really cool.
Yes. Was
Yeah,
that
like
in
Agents of
Infinity?
S.H.I.E.L.D. draws a lot of inspiration from that one.
Yes. Is this the Infinity storyline, right? That was the one that introduced the bomb of that? Because that was the Infinity. The I'm talking about the Infinity storyline. I'm sorry. That's the one where Thanos is chasing over his son, who's the Inhuman, and then I think Black Bolt like used his sonic screen and explode the floating city that we're in, and then that like had the Terrence Smith, and then that split all over the world, and then that's where we got all the
Yeah,
Inhumans and Marvel
yeah,
Universe. Yeah,
yeah. It woke up all of the like latent Inhumans that were on Earth instead of um, on their moon city.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's how
So
Miss Marvel came.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How are you gonna do that? That's the other thing I'm curious about. Like, I,
I okay, I've heard that they're changing her powers for the TV show, and I'm like,
mm,
everything I'm hearing about that show makes me really nervous
very.
about it. I don't think it's gonna work, but or like I think they're gonna change too much for me. But
I'm just waiting where they're gonna do it. I, I
yeah,
mean, they could have like. I guess like how she's gonna get her powers. I'm like, is it gonna be cosmic or, or is it gonna be like a typical superhero power, like
yeah,
transformation? Like
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
just want her to be an inhuman.
I know it's
I want her to have her stretchy powers.
yeah, stretchy powers. Do you like your
Ah,
stretchy powers? Um, it's a cool power. I mean, she could be before Mister Fantastic. Uh, we'll see.
yeah.
I'm curious how they're gonna handle that. My thing is like I I like the humans because I like some of the characters they they interact with other Marvel characters like Crystal.
Hmm.
I really like that character
Yeah,
and her relationship with the Human Torch and
right.
um
Yeah.
yeah yeah and then I like Black Bolt and Medusa and those two characters I like the most.
Hmm.
When they interact with the Avengers and the various superhero teams and yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
I guess besides Sky, I got into the Mist. I want to get into Reina, or that's
Reina, yeah.
yeah, Reina. I really like Reina. She's a very like fascinating character. I liked her in first season, and it was cool to see her like it was kind of funny when when she did transform into her inhuman form and like
Hmm.
she's met Mr. Hyde, John's Daisy's father, and how he explained, well, yeah, this is a in inverse process, and like it was interesting how she wanted to be accepted, and like she thought she was gonna get these beautiful gifts, instead she's like she has like this like mutant problem, like I'm a freak, and it was very interesting to see that from her,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It was a cool character arc.
yeah, I was really sad that she got killed when Chinese Daisy's mom killed her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was cool to see her powers like progress. Like at first we didn't know how her powers really are, and then until we realized it was like her what do you call it, like pre-cognate, like she got visions of what's going to
Yeah.
happen soon. You know,
I think it's precognition.
yes, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like that was a cool way to like not rapidly show her powers, so that was a
Hmm.
cool thing, and
Yeah.
especially when I think Lincoln realized that her visions actually came true. So
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
oh
She
yeah,
became the clairvoyant.
yes, exactly, she became the cover. That's right. She could have had a cool superhero name, the Clairvoyant, Miss Clairvoyant. Oh my god, that's true. Uh, you opened my eyes. Well, oh my god. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I love this show.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned Lincoln. He's another character that we got introduced. I like him. He's good. Um,
Okay.
he's very.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very hot drop. I would say guy. I guess.
Yeah.
I do like his chemistry with Sky.
Okay.
He doesn't get too much development in this season. I like him in season 3.
Yeah, I think he's better in season 3.
Yeah, but the moments he have here are interesting, fascinating. I like his powers. I think they actually do a good job of doing this electricity powers. Um, yeah, so he was a very fascinating character. Another I guess we'll get into like Daisy's parents. I thought her Daisy's parents were the best thing about towards the end of the series. I
Mm.
was very impressed. I mean, first off, um, Calvin Johnson, the actor that played him. I
Yeah.
one of he's
Um,
like the highlight for me for this season.
yeah, I love him in everything I see him in.
Yes.
Um,
I don't know. You seen Portlandia? Um, he's
yes, absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
he's my favorite character of that show. But he's the mayor. Oh my god, I just love him in that show, and obviously he's great in the movies like Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks, and you know
Yeah. No, I could watch Kyle MacLachlan in anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
I his scenes with Sky was great. Um, I think I was very sad that well, I was happy and sad. Like he got a chance to restart and you know, start over, and but at the same time not remembering Stacy,
Hmm.
and the daughter. Like I was really sad for his character, but I was also happy that he survived and can maybe start fresh.
Hmm.
I really like the way we took the character, and I think it was a satisfying conclusion. And I liked the mom. I think she was a very fascinating character. She had her
Hmm.
moments. Like I get why she did it. Like start uprising. Um, I I guess the thing I was kind of like, why do it if if you have the daughter? I, I don't know. Um, I don't know why she took the risk to like start a war against Shield. I just like it was better for her to not take it and just accept it, you know. But then I agree that she didn't want to be the index and you know
Hmm.
be like labeled or like just her trust with humans had been completely destroyed. So I get why she did it. So
Yeah.
pretty sad. Like it was really horrific that she got like tore apart, by Whitehall, and like that was like
Yeah, that was disturbing.
yeah, really disturbing. I will say I want to kind of get into this. I don't mind the violence. The show gets kind of darker in each season. Um,
Yeah, yes. They were moving to progressively later time slots while it was airing, so
yeah. Um,
get away with more.
more violence.
There's one thing from it's either season 2 or season 3 that was like the most disturbed I've ever been by something on TV.
Oh really? I'm curious.
Yeah,
We'll get to see.
I
Okay.
I forget which season it's in. It happens to Lance,
Mm, okay.
or maybe it was Bobby, but I think it was Bobby. They like stuck nails under fingernails.
Okay. Okay. That's in season 2. That's in the finale.
Okay,
SOS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hated that. That stuck with me.
Really? Yeah. I was shocked too about that. I was like, okay, it's gonna be a typical torture, and then when they actually did it, I was like, oh wow, finished. Oh my god. I
Yep.
know. Oh my god, that was painful. Ugh. I agree
Yeah.
with you with that. Um, yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I didn't like Ward. I was like, okay, Ward, you're going too far
Mm.
with this. Um, and yeah. Okay. We mentioned the parents. I guess General Tappert. He was a good
Yeah, he's
character.
introduced. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, yeah. Fun fact about that actor, that's the voice of Iron Man in the cartoons.
really?
Yeah. In Earth's Mightiest Heroes, at least.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Like,
Yeah.
because he is also in what was it? He was in Supergirl, and
Yep. Yes, he was.
yeah, he played. Hold on, let me. I know this character. Morgan Edge. He played the other Superman villain,
Yeah.
Morgan Edge. Yes. Okay, I'm looking at his Wikipedia. Yes, Avengers Assemble. He voiced Tony Stark. Iron Patriot, Space Phantom, Strongman. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, and he voiced Captain America in the Black Panther motion comic
Oh,
show. Oh wow. Oh wow. So he's been with Marvel for a long time.
yeah.
So yes, I thought General Talbot was a fascinating character. I liked him. He was very funny. Um, I think the episode when Agent 33 uh, disguised as his wife and like he thought it was Taco Tuesdays. Um, uh, by the way, Will, um, uh, what was it? Is there a Taco Tuesday in real life? Like,
So you're cutting out a little bit.
oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was talking about Tablet and when Agent 33 disguised as his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then he thought it was Taco Tuesdays, apparently. Um, that was a funny scene. And first off, is there ever a Taco Tuesday? I
But yeah, that's a common.
a common thing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, personally, I think I mean I like tacos, but I think they're overrated. But anyway,
All right. Okay, that's a hot take.
yes, especially especially when my family gets Taco Bell because I have this conspiracy theory that Taco Bell is just lying to the consumers because they they sponsor these new foods and like like I'm a consumer, I want that new thing or like the thing that I'm like okay I want to eat this, right? And they don't
Yeah.
have it and they don't have it in their menus and that's where I get like angry as a consumer.
Mm.
So yeah, so my conspiracy is that Taco Bell is lying to their consumers every day. Anyway, that's going conspiracy question level. Okay. Is there anything else? I mentioned every major thing in the season, right?
Yeah, I think we've walked through the
Yeah, this whole
season.
season. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you have like a favorite episode? I mean,
Ooh,
yeah, it's a tough one.
it is tough.
I would say what they become.
Yeah, that's probably what I was gonna
Yeah,
settle on.
aftershocks. Um, what else? Afterlife. Belinda. The Dirty Half Dozens. Scars and SOS. I think are the best episodes of this season.
Mm.
Um, and I guess I will put Face My Enemy is a great episode. I think the worst one I did not like was the one with Sif. Yes, who you
Okay.
are. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the worst episode of the season.
Yeah, it felt like a weird tangent. Yeah.
Like I like they mentioned like Daisy being a human, like that was the moment we like the whole team discovered she was a human.
Mhm.
But I felt like it was weird that we have this and then we have this, the like Sif again. Man, Sif has her like she's like literally the worst episode in these two seasons.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah, because when we get to season 3, Dr. Randolph, the other Asgardian character, like his second return was the best because it involves with him helping them get the portal and stuff like that,
Right.
I felt like that was the better episode for his return. This is just like ridiculous. Sif comes back and this is like it's a poor episode. Anyway, okay.
I do want to say, like, as a fan of the show Dollhouse, which was the show that Jed Whedon and Marissa Takaron had before the show. It was nice that they brought back some actors for this season. So
Yes.
the guy that played Whitehall and the woman that played Jia were both in Dollhouse.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they're reunited with another cast member in season 7, but I don't want to
Spoiler that.
spoil
Okay.
that for you.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Jillian, I did see this actress. She's also in Supergirl. She plays the character Raylet, or one of this like female villains that runs like a underground fight cage thing. So I recognize
I
this.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that episode.
Yeah, it's in first season, I think,
Yeah.
or season 2 actually. She's in season
Uh,
2, and yeah, yeah,
okay.
it's okay episode. Nothing major.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I like her too. She's really great actress.
Hmm.
Um, yes, she's in Hawaii File. I do remember her. Anyway, anything else besides that? I think I would say it's a step up from first season, but it's I yeah, I'll definitely put this as my third favorite season of Agent of Shield.
I think it's my third favorite as well.
Okay, because um second for me is fourth season, and then
Oh, wait.
number one for me is season 3.
Okay. I
So
lied. It's my fourth favorite. It's right in the middle. Um, yeah. For me personally, it would be 4, 5, 3, 2.
really, 5
Yeah.
is second. Oh wow. I haven't seen season. I haven't finished season 5. 5
Yeah.
is I actually really enjoyed season 5 so far.
Yeah.
I just this week I need to get back to watching season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. But yeah, yeah, great consistent seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I with 4, I love the Dr. Radcliffe character and the whole
Yes, absolutely.
just oh, he's amazing. I'll be so excited when I talk to season 4 about that.
Yeah, that's my favorite season.
Oh my god, great season. Okay. Is there anything else we had to talk about season 2 before we enter internals? Um,
I guess the like tie-in with Age of Ultron felt really tacked on and
oh yes,
unnecessary. Yeah.
yes, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I think that was my. I guess that and the new Rio Shield was my least favorite thing about the season.
Yeah.
And
No.
when we got to the Age of Ultron tie-in, I was like, oh, okay, you got this other helicarrier. Like
Yeah. I don't think we needed to explain how Nick Fury got a helicarrier at the end of Age of Ultron.
yeah,
Yeah. The show shines when it becomes its own thing and it like develops its own mythology like the Inhumans arc. So for it to like momentarily fall back into being like, oh, and also watch the Marvel movies,
yeah,
it just really took you out of it, you know?
completely. I feel like they get better with that with Civil War when they do the Accords. I I feel like they did better. Like they used that. And like I feel like the Age of Ultron thing, just like I don't know why you did it. It's just
Yeah. No, I think the Age of Ultron is like the last time where it really feels like they've shoehorned something into the
um,
plot.
yes, I agree
They just kind of
because
ignore the movies after that.
yeah, after that, especially in season 4, like they when I saw season 4, like they completely ignored like the Marvel stuff. Like we dealt magic, but they never mentioned Doctor Strange or like there was just like hints of it, but like like
Right. I
visual
mean, they
hints.
got the Dark Hold, which would later appear in
One
WandaVision
division,
and was
and
referenced, I think, in Doctor Strange. It's the book that's missing from the library
really
or something.
okay. I one of it. Speaking of the Dark Hold, like it was funny to see it in that show
Mhm.
in this show, and I was like, it was different from the one we saw in One Division.
Yeah, it looked different.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
I mean, I don't think the show's
That.
considered canon anymore,
Yeah.
but
No, no, I agree. I like the book in One Division more. I
yeah, I mean, it had a bigger budget behind it, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I, I don't think you need a big budget to make a book.
No,
You,
I know, but like
it
they designed it to
just
look like something that would be in a big budget blockbuster and not a network TV show. It
yeah,
was like it had a more intricate design.
yeah. That's my thing. It's weird how they just wrote dark hole in the book. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you could done maybe more fancy like symbol and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning April to me. I totally forgot about that because I I like I knew it was in this season, but then it's like how they did it was just like awkward and just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Anything else before we get into internals?
No, I'm ready to talk about Eternals.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining Agents of season two spoiler talk. Now we're going into the internals spoiler talk. So, Will,